we're doing worksheet number 11A, which is on average speed word problems. Question number 1, which says a car completes a 200-kilometer journey with an average speed of x kilometers per hour. The car completes the return journey of 200 km with an average speed of x plus 10 km per hour. Part 1, show that the difference between time taken for each of the two journeys is 200 over this, whatever this value is. Alright, so for part 1, time difference between the two times. So one of the times would be this formula for time is distance over speed. So the distance in the first part of the journey is 2000 and the time, the speed is x. For the second part of the journey, the distance is 200 and the speed is x plus 10. Now we need to subtract these two times and equate it to no, we just have to simplify it after subtracting the two times. So my question is, which time is the bigger time? Subtracted with the smaller time. So which of these two fractions do we write first? Do we write 200 over x first, or do we write 200 over x plus 2 first, x plus 10 first? One way of doing it is, since this denominator here is smaller, then the fraction, overall fraction will be bigger. So we write 200 over x first and then 200 over x plus 10, because the first fraction is bigger since its denominator is smaller. Or another way is by just reading and comprehending the question. A car completes 200 km with an average speed of x, and then on the return journey the speed increases, so that means the time decreases. So that's why this fraction comes after the first fraction. Now simply simplify this by taking the LCM. X plus 10, 200 brackets x plus 10 minus 200x. This becomes 200x plus 2000 minus 200x over x bracket x plus 10. 200x and minus 200x cancel out. We're left with the desired fraction. Part 2. Find the difference between the time taken for each of the two journeys when x equals 80. Give your answer in minutes and seconds. So we have the expression from part 1, which is this. In this we simply need to substitute x equals 80. So let's do that. We'll get 80 times 100 in the denominator, and this becomes 200 over 8000 becomes 0.025 hours, since this was in hours. So we need to give the answer in minutes and seconds, so you need to press this key in the calculator and it'll give you 0, 1 and 30, which means 0 hours, 1 minute, 30 seconds. Oh, this was actually 2000 and not 200. Make this correction. This is 2000 and this is x plus 10, which makes this 90. So 2000 divided by 80 times 90, which gives us 0.7777 hours. So 0.27 with a recurring dot on it, hours. Next, like I said, press this key in your calculators, which breaks hours into hours, minutes and seconds, which will give the answer 0 hours, 16 minutes and 40 seconds, which is the answer for part 2. Question number 2. Emilia takes 2 hours and 25 minutes to complete a long walk. Part 1, show that 9 hours 25 minutes can be written as 113 over 12 hours. So for this we simply 9 hours plus 25 minutes. Change minutes to hours, for that divide it with 60 and add this fraction simply. So in your calculators write 9 plus 25 over 60 and it will give you the desired fraction. Yes, it will give us 113 over 12. Okay. Part 2. She walks 3y plus 2 kilometers at 3 kilometers per hour, then a further y plus 4 kilometers at 2 kilometers per hour. Show that the total time taken is this. So we need the total time, which is time 1 plus time 2. Time is distance over speed. So the distance for the first part of the journey is 3y plus 2 over the speed is 3, and then plus the second distance is y plus 4 and the second time is 2. Now show that the total time taken is this. So take LCM, which will be 6. This will become 6y plus 4 plus 3y plus 12, which becomes 9y plus 16 over 6, which we've shown. Solve this equation for part 3. So for part 3, we're going to solve the given equation. Solving means writing, finding the value of the variable, which is y in this case. So take 6 to the other side. 113 times 6 over 12, which makes this 113 over 2. Then take 16 to the other side. 9y is equals to 113 over 2 minus 16. Find the value in this in your calculator. 113 divided by 2 minus 16 is 40.5. Divide 9 with it and we will get 4.5, which is the answer for part C. Part 4. Calculate Emilia's average speed in kilometer per hour for the whole walk. So we need her average speed in kilometer per hour for the whole walk. So what is the formula for average speed? Average speed is total distance over total time. So do we have her total distance? Yes, we have the total distance, which is 3y plus 2 and y plus 4. So the total distance will be sum of this 3y plus 2 plus y plus 4, and we already know the total time, which is 113 over 12. So 113 over 12, and we know y is 4.5. Let's substitute y 4.5 here over 113 over 12. So when y equals 4.5, the numerator becomes 4 times 4.5 plus 6 becomes 24 over 113 over 2. So you can find 113 over 2 in your calculators first and then do 24 divided by answer. 113 over 12 gives us 9.416666, and then divide it with 24 divided by answer, we get 2.548. so the rounded off answer is 2.55. Question number 3. Roshni cycles 2 kilometers at y kilometer per hour and then runs 4 kilometers at y minus 4 kilometers per hour. The whole journey takes 40 minutes. These minutes are given in bold because there is a unit conflict in this question, because the speed is in kilometer per hour where the time is in minutes. So wherever we'll use 40 in the equations, we'll use 40 over 60 instead to change minutes into hours. So For part 1, write an equation in y and show that it simplifies to this. So the total time of the whole journey is 40 minutes. That means time for the first journey plus time for the second journey is 40 minutes. Change it into hours, which becomes 2 by 3. So the time is distance over speed. Distance is 2 and speed is y. So t1 is 2 by y plus t2 is 4 over y minus 4 equals 2 by 3. Cross multiply, take a LCM first. Y minus 4 is the LCM. 2y minus 4 plus 4y equals 2 by 3. This becomes 2y minus 8 plus 4y times 3 equals 2 times y square minus 4y. So this becomes 6y minus 8 equals 2y square minus 4y, which becomes 18y minus 24 equals 2y square minus 4y. Writing 0 at one side of the equation, 2y square minus 4y, bringing everything else to the left, and we get 2y square minus 22y plus 24. This was 8y. This here is 8, this here is 8, this is 8. So the equation becomes zero equals 2y square minus 26y plus 24. When we take 2 common, we get this, and then take 2 to the other side, it gets divided by 0 and gets eliminated, and we get the desired equation. This was part 2. For part this was part 1. Part 2, this is 1. Part 2, factorize this equation. So we'll use y square minus 12y minus y plus 12. Y is common, y minus 12, minus 1 is common, y minus 12, and we get y minus 12, y minus 1. Part 3 is asking us to solve the given equation. For that, simply we already have the factorized answer. Y minus 12, y minus 1 equals 0. So y equals 12 and y equals 1. Part 4, work out Roshni's running speed. So her running speed is this, as told here. So now we have to find y minus 4. Now we'll use y equals 12, because if we use y1, our speed will become negative, which is not possible. So just use y equals 12. 12 minus 4 equals 8, which is the answer. Question number 4. The distance a train travels on a journey is 600 kilometer. Write down an expression in terms of x for the average speed for the train when the journey takes x hours. So for part 1, distance is 600 and time is x, and we're asked for the average speed. So average speed is total distance over total time. So we get 600 over x. For part 2, the journey takes x plus 1 hours and the distance is still the same. Distance is 600, time is x plus 1. So average speed will be 600 over x plus 1. Part B, the difference between the two average speeds in part A1 and A2 is 20. So the difference is 20. So this fraction is bigger. Please keep this in mind because its denominator is smaller. So 600 over x minus 600 over x plus 1 equals 20. Take LCM. X plus 1, 600x plus 600 minus 600x equals 20. So we get 600 equals, I'm going to open the brackets and take it to the other side, plus 20x. So we get 0 is equals to 20x square plus 20x minus 600. I'm going to take 20 common and then divide it with 0. So I get x square plus x minus 30, which was the desired equation. Part 2, B2 says, solve this equation. B2 says, find the average speed of the train for the journey in part A2. So we need to find 600 over x plus 1. So for that we need x first. X would be found by solving the quadratic equation. We'll use factorization. So x square plus 6x minus 5x minus 30 equals 0. X is common, x plus 6 minus 5 is common, x plus 6 equals 0, x equals 5 or x equals minus 6. This is the solution of the quadratic equation. Right now you can't ignore any one of the values of x. Quadratic equation always gives two answers. So, but for the next part, since you need to find the average speed, we're finding the average speed. So for speed, the answer can't be negative. So now we'll discard the negative 6 and use x equals to 5 only. So 600 over 5 plus 1 is 600 over 6, which gives us 100. Question number 5. Carol walks 12 km at x km per hour and then a further 6 km at x minus 1 km per hour. Find the total time taken is 5 hours. So for part 1, time 1 plus time 2 equals 5 hours. Time is distance over speed, so 12 over x plus 6 over x minus 1 equals 5. Take LCM and simplify. 12 x minus 1 plus 6x over x minus 1 equals 5. So 12x minus 12 plus 6x equals 5x square minus 5x. So we have 0 equals 5x square minus 5x minus 6x minus 12x plus 12 equals 0. No, we already have written is equals to 0. So 0 equals 5x square. This becomes 5 minus 6 minus 12 becomes minus 23x plus 12. Part 4. Write down Carol's walking speed during the final x kilometers. So her walking speed was x minus 1. So for that we first need a value of x. In fact, first we're left with the initial few parts. We haven't done part 2 and the rest yet. Part 2, factorize 5x square minus 23 plus 12 equals 0. So we're looking for two terms which when multiplied should give 60 and which when added should give minus 23. So let's factorize 60. 230, 215, 3551. So 20 times 3 should do the trick, minus 20 minus 3. So 5x square minus 20x minus 3x plus 12 equals 0. 5x is common, x minus 4 minus 3 is common, x minus 4. So we're getting x equals 4 or x equals 3 by 5. But in this question we were only asked to factorize it. So there was so we just need to factorize it and write it in this form: x minus 4 5x minus 3 equals 0. This is the factorized form. In the next part we're being asked to solve it, so we use this to solve it and then write down Carol's walking speed during the final 6 kilometers. Alright, so part 3 has two answers. The answer I've written has just one of those answers. Please write 4 with it as well. And in the final part, write down Carol's walking speed during the final 6 kilometers. That would be x minus 1 and x came out to be 4 and 3 by 5. If you take x 3 equals 3 by 5, we'll end up getting negative answer for Carol's walking speed, which can't be true. So instead we write x is equals to 4. So 4 minus 1 equals 3 is the answer. Question number 6. Chunk cycles along Skyline Drive. He cycles 60 km at an average speed of x km per hour. He then cycles further 45 km at an average speed of x plus 4 km per hour. His total journey takes 6 hours. Write down an equation in x and show that it reduces to this given equation. Okay, so we are given the total time of the first part of the journey plus time of the second part of journey equals 6 hours. Time, like discussed many times before, is distance over speed. Distance for the first part of the journey is 60 and speed for that is x. For the second part of the journey, the distance is 45 and the speed is x plus 4 equals 6. Now we'll take the LCM, which will be x plus 4, 60 x plus 4 plus 45 x equals 6. Then we have 60 x plus 240 plus 45 x over x square plus 4x equals 6. Simplify the numerator and we get 105x plus 240 equals 6x square plus 24x. Rearrange, we get 6x square plus 24 minus 105 minus 81x minus 240 equals 0. Can we take 6 common from here? What can be taken common? Let's take 3 common from here so that we get 2 after the coefficient, so that the coefficient of x square becomes 2. So if 3 is common, 2x square minus 81 by 3 is 27x minus 80 equals 0. Take 3 to the other side, it gets divided with 0 and gets eliminated, and we get this equation right here. For the second part, we have to solve the equation to find the value of x. Okay, so 2x square minus 27x minus 80 equals 0. I believe this can be done by factorization. Multiplication should give minus 160. Addition should give minus 27. Usually if the question is related to if the question requires you to use the quadratic formula, it's mostly for 4 marks. Secondly, it is written in the end that give your answer correct to 2 decimal places. That's the hint that you need to use quadratic formula, and factorization won't work. Otherwise, most probably factorization works. So we're looking for 2 numbers again that once multiplied give us minus 160 and once added should give us minus 27. So to find those numbers, let's factorize 160. 280, 240, 220, 210, 25, 51. Now which combinations can we use so that we get 27 in the end? So if we combine all the 2's, this is 2 power 5, we get 32, and 32 times 5 will give us 160, and let me see, let's try 32 and 5. So we need to get minus 160 and minus 27. So minus 32 times 5 gives minus 160. Minus 32 plus 5 gives minus 27. So 2x square minus 32x plus 5x minus 80 equals 0. 2 is common. X square minus 16 plus 2x is common, plus 5 is common, it's not x squared, it's just x, so x minus 16. Okay, so the solution would be, we're getting 2 brackets equals 0. So the 2 answers are x equals 16 and x equals minus 5 by 2. But what was x? X was the speed here, and speed can't be negative. So in the answer space, we'll only write this. Question number 7. Rowena walks 2 km at an average speed of x kilometers per hour. Write down an expression in terms of x for the time taken. So the formula for time taken is distance over speed, and here the distance is 2 and the speed is x. So this is the expression for part 1. For part 2, Rowena then walks 3 km at an average speed of x minus 1 km per hour. The total time taken to walk the 5 km is 2 hours. Show this equation. So the second part is telling us that the total time taken, that is time 1, let's call this time 1, plus time 2 equals 2 hours. Time 1 was 2 by x. Similarly, time 2 would be distance over speed. So this is the distance and this is the speed. So 3 over x minus 1 equals 2. Take LCM and then cross multiply. We get x minus 1, 2x minus 2 plus 3x equals 2. This becomes 5x minus 2 equals 2x square minus 2x, which gives us 0 equals 2x square minus 7x plus 2, which is the equation we were supposed to show. And the part B is showing all your working, give your answer, find the value of x. And I just remember for grade 8 you haven't done the quadratic formula yet, so part B shouldn't be done in grade 8. We'll do it next year. And I think I did mention quadratic formula in a question back in I think in question 6 or question 5, where I said that completing square, where I said you're not supposed to use quadratic formula, and this is the hint, just ignore that. You are only supposed to solve a quadratic equation using factorization, which is middle term breaking. Question 8. Luigi and Alfredo run a 10-kilometer race. Luigi average speed was x kilometer. Alfredo's average speed was 0.5 kilometer per hour, slower than Luigi's average speed. So if the average speed here is x, then just a second. If this average speed is x, then this average speed will be x minus 0.5 kilometer per hour. Part A. Luigi took 10 over x hours to run the race. Write down an expression in terms of x for the time that Alfredo took to run this race. So that would simply be time is equals to distance over speed. Distance is same for both. 10 over speed is 10, speed is x minus 0.5. Alright. Part B. Alfredo took 0.25 hour longer than Luigi to run the race. Show that, we have to show this equation. So one fraction is 10 by x and the other fraction is 10 over x minus 0.5, and both of these fractions tell us the time taken by both of the boys. So Alfredo took 0.25 hours longer, so this time is bigger because he takes longer. So I'm going to write this time first minus 10 over x, and what's the difference between these two times? 0.25 hours, and for ease of calculation 0.25 can be written as 1 by 4. So I'll equate this to 1 by 4. Now let's take LCM and cross multiply. So LCM is x square minus 0.5x. I've simply opened the brackets and multiplied the denominator. The numerator becomes 10x minus 10x plus 5 into 0.5, which is 5, equals 1 by 4. This gives us this gets cancelled, then 5 times 4 would be 20, equals x square minus 0.5x. Take 20 to the other side, x square minus 0.5x minus 20. Now here the coefficient of x square is 2. So for that, to get the equation in this form, multiply the whole equation with 2 and we get 0 equals 2x square. 2 times minus 0.5 is 1, so minus 1x or x minus 40. So we get this equation. Alright, I guess we can skip the rest in grade 8. Question number 10. Leah cycles 20 km at an average speed of x km per hour. Write down an expression in terms of x for the time it takes Leah to complete the journey. So for part 1, time is distance over speed. Distance is 20 kilometers, speed is x. So this is the answer for part 1. Part 2, Leah cycles another 20 km at an average speed of x plus 1. So if I need the time for the second journey, it will be distance over speed again. So distance is 20 and speed is x plus 1. Next we're told this journey takes 14 hours less than the journey in part 1. So this takes 14 hours less. So this is the smaller value. So I'll write 20 over x, which is the bigger value, minus 20 over x plus 1, and the difference would be 14 hours. Take LCM, cross multiply. LCM is x square plus x equals 14. Numerator becomes 20x plus 20 minus 20x. This gets cancelled. We get 20 is equals to 14 x square plus 14, which gives us 0 is equals to 14 x square plus 14 minus 20. Yikes, there's a typing mistake in the question and it wasn't 14 hours. This is supposed to be 14 hours, 1 by 4 hours. So make this correction. I'll fix it in the original file as well. This is 1 by 4. So this is 1 by 4, and from here we'll get 20 over x square plus x equals 1 by 4, which gives us 80 equals x square plus x. 0 equals x square plus x minus 80, and we've shown the desired result. Right. We're not going to do the part 3. We won't be solving it because we don't know how to apply quadratic formula yet, and similarly we're not doing part 4 for now. We'll do it next year in grade 9th. That's all with this worksheet. Bye.